All right, we'll open it up for questions for Coach Manning.
Danny, KP's talked the last Saturday and then last night on the show about the offense is what you guys kind of want to see. How do you get the defense up to where you want to be?
Well, I think, first thing we have to continue to do is making sure we're moving on the flight of the pass. That's one thing that will put us in much better positioning. And that's something that we work on a regular basis. We just have to lock in and make sure we stay focused. When we do get to our spots and we have active hands, we create some difficult situations for teams. And then we have to do a better job of finishing possessions, whether that's a deflection, it's a rebound, but finishing the possession, making sure that we limit their opportunities.
Well, on offense, it's never where you. No coach wants it to be ever. What has been the biggest jump, do you think, though, in the last couple games to where it's been more consistent as far as, is it that you're getting better shots? Are you sharing the ball better kind of thing? Because it seems like it's been a little easier on offense.
I think it's all the above. I think you look at the guys are having a better understanding of what KP wants when we get out there in terms of ball movement. Spacing has been a lot better. We're shooting the ball a little bit better. We're getting a few more paint touches. And, whenever we get our lane touches or paint touches and we're able to spray the ball out to shooters or drop it off to Brandon or KG in that dunker spot, we create some good opportunities for ourselves.
Danny, Mike James has touched upon this in the last game, but what have you seen from this team confidence-wise over the last couple of games where they've maybe seen that, okay, we can make some noise in the ACC?
Well, I think for us, we see fight when we step out there on the court, and that's always the indicator. You go into every game and the mindset is win the fight. Win the fight and everything else falls into place. And so that's been the mindset a lot of guys have adopted, and that's carried over well for us.
Kenny, as a guy that obviously played down low during your career, Brandon's been on a tear the last 7 games or so. What have you seen from him in practice and his personal, and as well as when he's working with the team that has helped him improve?
Brandon's a worker, and Brandon's always in the gym. He's always working on his body or different parts of his game. I think a lot of it just has to do with his maturity level. This is year 3 for him in college, and he's starting to understand things a lot better. He's seeing things a lot better, and I feel like the game is starting to slow down for him in terms of when he catches the basketball, the reads are a little bit clearer for him, where he wants to attack, the angle that he wants to attack, and he's doing a good job of getting, for the most part, really good initial post positioning on his catch.
Going off that question, how do you see him and a Baycott matching up? He's someone who's been in the game for 6 years now. How do you see that battle playing out tomorrow night?
Armando's been in school 6 years?
I think 5 or 6.
5 or 6, okay. All right, wow. He's a veteran. Armando's a very talented basketball player, and, he's had a lot of success throughout his career. And, he commands a lot of attention. And we're certainly going to have to give him his fair share of attention. I think for us, Brandon's going to have to be able to play defense without fouling, beating him to the spot, and making Armando shoot shots over him. You're not going to stop Armando from scoring because he's a focal point of their offense. So you have to make his shots tough. They have to be challenged. And in a perfect world, he doesn't shoot a good percentage. On the flip side, Brandon's got to make sure that he puts himself in situations where he can get some easy touches, whether that's a rim run in transition or that's a deep post catch, or when we get into the bonus, posting up really hard and trying to draw a foul and get to the free throw line.
Danny, you mentioned how over the last couple games, the biggest thing you've noticed is the fight. For a lot of the season, they've shown fight, but it seems like maybe the execution was kind of hit or miss. Over the last couple games, what do you think has finally caused fight and execution to kind of click together?
Well, I think, KP stresses it every day, attention to detail. Whether that's offensively, defensively, each possession, doing everything you can to put yourself in a situation to help our team be successful. And I think, we have more guys really adhering to that right now, and it's showing some for us.
I know you look at it one game at a time as a coaching staff, as a team, but as for us media, and if you're just looking at the schedule, you go, North Carolina, Wake Forest, Duke, Clemson. I mean, these next few games are going to be – they're going to kind of tell everybody just where you guys are. Do you not feel that way?
Every game is like that, and so every game is important, but the most important one is your next one, and that's how we look at it. And, right now our focus is on the Tar Heels and getting prepared for them. And then once that game is over, we'll turn our attention to our next team, which happens to be Wake.
How good is this Carolina team, and what's different for them than maybe last year?
Well, they're winning more games than they won last year. I think they have a very talented team, but, when I look at teams, I break them down into the big three, whatever category that is. And, to me, their big three is Davis, it's Baycott, and it's Ingram. And those three guys have been playing really well, and that's not a slight on anybody else on their roster. But, for me, when I'm scouting teams, I always look for the big three as a theme. And those three guys do it really well. RJ scoring the ball at a very high clip. He's very confident. He's very aggressive. He's taking and making tough shots. Armando is being a paint beast, if you will, in terms of blocking shots, rebounding the ball, scoring in the paint. Ingram is doing a really good job of being inside-outside type of player, depending on the matchup. And so, you have to certainly give attention to those guys along with the other players in their lineup that are out there on the court. But they're a very well-balanced team, and they can throw a lot of different looks at you with a lot of different pieces. And, Hubert's done a good job of blending them all to work in a collective, strong unit.
On that note, they're obviously one of the top scoring offenses in the country. What can you do to slow them down a little bit?
Transition defense is going to be key. They do a terrific job of getting the ball out, whether that's on a miss or even on a made field goal, and getting it up the floor. In particular, pitching the ball ahead. And so we've got to make sure that we get back in transition and we build a wall around our paint, and we don't allow easy penetration. And we have to make sure that, when we build that wall, that the ball handler sees bodies. And then we have to match up because, in transition, you're not always going to be able to get to your assigned matchup. So we got to find the 5 guys. We got 5 guys. We got to make sure we get a body on a body.
Just one of the pieces you mentioned for North Carolina is Jalen Withers. I'm wondering, as you scout them, how have you seen his game maybe grow? He's playing a lesser role on this team, but what does he add to this team? And how have you seen him grow from, coaching him last year?
Well, Jalen's a veteran. I think Jalen was here for quite a bit of time and, had some success here and has moved on. He's in a different role now. He's shooting close to his normal percentage, around 46 or so. Struggling a little bit from the three-point line, but we all know he's a capable shooter. He's proven that over his time. And I think he gives them a good lift when he comes in the ball game. He started some games for him. But when he comes in, he brings a lot of versatility, can guard multiple positions, skilled enough to handle the ball on the perimeter and do a lot of different things. And so I think he's a good fit for this team. And, he's certainly somebody that they depend on because he plays quality minutes in every game.
Danny, you spent 6 years as a head coach at Wake. Last year they played here. We go back there this weekend. Mm-hmm. Have you been back there since you were your last year, and will it bring up some? I mean, you had a lot of good times there. It'll have to stir up some good memories when you walk in that place.
Have not been back, and the focus for me and everyone upstairs as we prepare is to figure out a way to get a win no matter where we're playing at. And so for me, it'll be a little bit different, being in a different locker room and come out of the tunnel on a different side, but the objective is the same. You want your team to be successful and find a way to come out with a win.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks.